Alrighty, let's start our weekly analysis. Starting with EU, we just had a monthly candle close, taking off everything. We're still super, super bullish when it comes to the current a previous monthly candle. Like, yes, we are having point A's, point B's, and point C's, so there could be a lower high that forms. But if that was the case, I would have to see a lot more. Well, hold on now. Not even necessarily a lot more than I'm seeing now because let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a fib, point A, point B. Um, there's actually a reversal happening, but it's on a time frame that like it's on the daily time frame, right? So um on EU, the reason I started selling was because you had a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder here. And on top of that, I had a counter trend line drawn. So this point right here. And I was waiting pretty much for a break. So we had that break here, retracement back up into this level. I pull out my fibs again, and I anticipate some type of sell back towards the downside over here. Um, so I think we could continue the short-term counter trend bearish. There's a possibility it could break, but I'm not a fortune teller, so I'm just gonna close out when price gets around here, or when I see a double bottom that's created on the 4 hour or daily time frame. Because overall, well, if I had to maybe predict what this next monthly candle could look like, it would probably be bullish just because if I look to the left, there's a whole lot of demand. Right. Previous weekly, it wasn't anything special, but it did engulf this weekly to the left as an engulfing variation type pattern. But what I find the most interesting is this head and shoulders that was really clean and validated on the daily time frame. There was a shoulder and a head and a shoulder. It broke this little, mini counter trend line, and then that was my signal to be confident with some counter trend trades. Again, like I know we're overall still bearish. This could be the beginning of an overall bullish trend, or it could just be something like this, right? Or it could be something like that. I don't know. But for now, I'm gonna ride this up until I see well, use this as a correlation to other US Forex periods, whether I, decide to trade GU or something, but I'm trading EU in conjunction with it because it's like literally the direct opposite. For GJ, I do believe that we could potentially go bearish, although right now, currently on the daily time frame, we're still fairly bullish. I would need to see some type of, well, for price to actually continue like this, I think we would have to see some sort of double top situation actually happen before that could be officiated. But until then, if price just keeps on keeping on with these just higher highs and higher lows, even though it's breaking outside of this trend line, if that continues on, then I will continue on with the buys as appropriate. And gold, it was a nice week for me last week on gold. And it also kind of broke into a little counter trend. So I'm seeing something like maybe this can continue until we see a double bottom to continue back bullish. Because, you know, this is the location of this pullback is so just if it's just a really good place for buys. It's a really good place for buys, but I also can't buy until I see confirmations of it going in that direction, like a double bottom on the 4 hour or daily or both. That's exactly what I'll be looking out for. But until then, yes, we are currently in a little minor counter trend. For US 30, man, very bullish bias. I mean, look at the Look at how the previous monthly candle closed. So much wick to the downside. And then on top of that, I already had a bullish bias before that because we came here, created level of support, came here. Actually, this was technically a double bottom. Damn, right? So my bias for US30 is continuing to be very bullish, and I had a lot of good trades throughout last week on this trade. So, and then for SPX, I mean, so like, because I trade options also, and I think the market could definitely fly from here, even though that's not Forex related. I mean, look at the previous monthly candle close. The type of volume I expect to see in this coming month could be really nice. Could be really nice. Or it could be really bad. We'll see. But yeah, so do we have any extra good news coming out next week? Nothing too special, just normal USD news. But yeah, until I get into a trade on Monday, happy trading.